Great to be 6-1. Great to be winning at home. When you look at kind of the tail of the game today, I think it's been similar to our other wins, where it really has been the whole team needing a play from special teams, needing turnovers from the defense, needing the offense to show up and score. It's been complementary football is the way we've been winning, and I think creating turnovers, our defense and our special teams creating turnovers made a big difference. I believe after we fumbled, holding them to a field goal was a crucial play in the game, a crucial moment. And then to be 5 for 5 in the red zone, which I think largely goes back to running the football well. Having second and 5 or 6 and being able to just pound the ball in really helps with the red zone efficiency. Stayed in really manageable third downs in the first half, which helped a lot. There's still so much we can do better. There's ways to stay on the field, really, is what I look at, on third down. When we're punting, some of those plays that if you can, find a way to improve in those moments, then we can stay on the field and prolong drives and would prefer to pull away when we get a lead. But it's hard to pull away in this league, I'm learning. All these games seem to come down to the final drive, and no matter how hard you try, it's difficult to pull away. But great to get Dalvin going, great to see what Alex can do, and we'll just keep going from here. But take any questions you have. How
about, you talked a couple weeks ago about defensive coordinators probably need to look for you to potentially run. And just your thoughts on using your legs today, especially on the TD.
Yeah, man coverage, and honestly, we had a great play for man coverage. They defended it really well. I was surprised at their ability to take it away, and then I kind of was like, I gotta go, I gotta move, and was still looking to throw it. Was still when I went on the move, was still looking to throw it, but didn't feel we had anybody, and then just kind of took off. And usually the cavalry gets there a lot faster, but on that one, for some reason, I was able to get to the front pylon, and I had no idea how much it means to the O-linemen when I run. They said it was just a big deal to them. I didn't realize that. If I had known that, maybe I'd run more. So for some reason, they really liked it.
How'd they express their like of it?
Garrett, I think, said it was the greatest thing he's ever seen in the locker room after the game, which I thought was a bit of hyperbole, but maybe not. They're right there in the end zone. Just their reaction, they just were, for some reason, really happy, really proud of it.
Kirk, it seems like one of the other key plays was the third down to Justin, where he kind of won the jump ball there.
Yeah.
How did you see that play develop, and just trusting him to go when he was maybe covered up at the time?
Yeah, he was covered. When I let that ball go, I'm thinking to myself, is this the right decision, to give him this chance? Because if it ends up being another punt, you're kind of like, I should have just progressed. What am I doing? But one of the traits that makes Justin special is when the ball goes up in the air, he plays in such a way where he says, that's my football. He's not 6'5", 250 pounds, like you think a guy has to be to have that mindset, but he plays big. And so when that ball goes up to him, he tends to take the approach of that's my football. And I told him that right after he caught it. It was a big-time play by a big-time player in a big-time moment, and we'll need more of those up ahead.
Has that trust developed over time? Would you have made that throw a few years ago when you hadn't kind of seen
I think I'll never forget playing the Titans week 3, 2020, when he caught a go ball that was a little underthrown, same kind of approach. That's my ball, I'm going to get it. And that was kind of the first time I said, okay, this guy's pretty good. We hit on this first-round pick. This guy is going to be a good player. But, yeah, certainly there's this mindset of, how much more can we do that? How many more times can we put the ball in his general direction and let him go get it? But you don't want to be throwing a bunch of incompletions and just throwing it up for grabs. And so there's an efficiency standard there that you want to meet. But I told him, I said, you keep putting that on tape, you earn the right to get more of those.
Kirk, how do you kind of work through that thought process of the tension between I want to give my guy a chance and I want to take care of the ball? The turnover numbers have been low, and you've done a really good job of that. How do you kind of work through that in your own head as you go through the process there?
Yeah, I think that's been my life now for the last 8 years playing in this league, is that tension and trying to figure it out, trying to learn every year you play. You get a little better. And the key is you're critical. The key is you say, okay, that wasn't good enough, and let me correct. And if you overcorrect, you say, let me go back the other way. And so you're never like saying, I've got it figured out. You're always trying to course correct and get better. And there's another one that I looked at him, and actually I was the one where we fumbled. he had a basic route, and the linebacker was inside leverage, and I was trying to stay with him because I'm like, man, the middle's wide open if he can get past this linebacker, but the guy was so far inside him. And I checked it down to Irv, but couldn't get the ball to him. I was starting to throw it to Irv, and they got my arm hit, and I go to look at the tablet picture, and Justin separated. And so I just said to him, hey, man, just keep putting that on tape, because when you do that, when you set a guy like that who's way inside of you and you still win inside, I see that, and then I'm able to know, hey, next time, stay with him. So, and again, pocket's got to hold up, but, he can do that kind of stuff.
Kirk, nationally, there's not a lot of talk about the Vikings. How good can this team be?
We're one week at a time. I kind of like it this way. I don't need anybody to talk about us. We're good. There's a lot of football left, and you all know, I know, playing this league, being around this league, it's week to week, and you just got to keep earning your way. And the difference between 6-1 and 1-6 is pretty thin. So you just got to keep finding ways to win and keep moving forward.
Pat Peterson's pretty fired up.
Yeah.
Probably all week. But
Yeah.
today, was that contagious? That kind of energy, the defense, you think, and the rest of the team?
Yeah, he was bringing the energy, and if anything, I was nervous he was a little too fired up. Or you sometimes I know in this game, you have to have the emotion, but you also have to have the focus. And he did a tremendous job of playing with passion, but not letting it go too far. And he's a pro, you expect that, and just did a phenomenal job today. And Jordan Hicks as well. We're so fortunate to have gotten Jordan in free agency. He checks every box as a person, as a leader, as a player, as a teammate. He just checks every box, and so you're like, man, how did this guy become a free agent? What a gift that we were able to get him. Love having him on our team.
Here's the revenge game idea. I know it gets used a lot in the media. I don't know how often players actually feel those emotions towards their old team. I don't know if you did, or will with Washington or whatever, but is that typically a real thing in the locker room, or was this a rare, situation where two players seem to be genuinely at a higher level emotionally because they were playing the team they used to play for?
I just sensed a little extra from Pat this week and today, really today more than anything. That's probably what stood out. Otherwise, I would say no. It's
Will it be for you this week?
I haven't even gotten there yet. I'm still trying to come down from this one, but I think for me it'll be important to not even go there and just kind of focus on the job and kind of be just very surgical about what I'm doing.
Pearson there talked about recognizing the impact Zadarius would make the day he walked in. What do you remember about just recognizing his impact early on?
Yeah, I remember meeting him in the cafeteria the day I came up for a physical in March, and he was coming in to visit and to likely sign. And just being able to say hello to him, you could feel his presence, his energy. It's a guy who's made a lot of plays in this league, and usually those guys don't get to leave a building. And so the fact that he was able to leave the building he was in and become available was a great opportunity for us. And I'm watching the game on the sidelines when the defense on the field, just like you guys are, and I just feel him. I feel him. I feel his effect on the game and the way he can condense the pocket and the energy he plays with, and that's what you want from people who are rushing the passer.
Kirk, I think it was 54th career game for Johnny Munt, and it's his first.
Yeah, that's what he told me right after it. Yeah.
What's it like for a guy that's kind of done a lot of the dirty work to catch a touchdown penalty, and what was the key to that?
Yeah, it's just tremendous. First of all, that's really good design by our coaches to create a play like that where you can, and they did it really 2 weeks in a row because Miami was very similar with a play down there with a play action where the tight end's able to sneak through for a touchdown. So I got to give the coach a lot of credit for coming up with that, and then he came over to me after he scored and on the bench and said, "That's my first career regular season touchdown." And I don't know if he was emphasizing he had scored in the preseason or what, or the playoffs, but he said, "That's my first regular season touchdown." So I said, "That's tremendous." And he is doing so many things for us. He wears a lot of hats. The tight end position does in general, pass protection, route running, blocking in the run game. And so, to see him get a touchdown is outstanding.
Pat was kind of talking in the locker room about appreciating this kind of an opportunity and haven't been on many teams that are 6-1 at this
Right.
point. How do you balance, I guess, the week-to-week nature of it and looking around and saying this is something that, this kind of a win streak, this kind of a culture isn't maybe something that you get every day?
I think you focus on going 1-0 each week, and whatever happens, you take that same approach the next week. Try to go 1-0. You don't look ahead. You don't look back. I do know that you enjoy it more. I think work's a little more fun when you're winning. You know, the practices have a little more juice, just it's the way you are as a human emotionally. I think talking to you guys is a little less difficult, you know, when we're winning. It's more difficult when you're losing. So I do think that everything, it becomes a little more wind at your back, and that's why you want to keep winning.
You talked 2 weeks ago in Miami about this kind of being the reverse of last season when you were losing all these close games. I mean, what do you think the difference is? You know,
it's a great question, Chris. It's a question I've asked myself. How are we suddenly finding the inches? I knew we needed to. Looking at last season, I thought we were a really good football team last year. We just couldn't find the inches in too many games. Why we found them now, I don't know. I think, like I said at the beginning, team, winning, it has to be a lot of different areas to find those inches. It's special teams, it's defense, it's turnovers, it's run game, pass game. A lot of different people contributing, I think, and so it's hard to know where those inches are coming from, but we have been finding them.
Kirk, you mentioned getting Dalvin going early on. What is it like for this offense, or what does it mean when you get one established like that?
Yeah, you get shorter third downs, which are then more convertible third downs. You kind of put yourself in an advantageous position when you can hand the ball off and then create second and short, third and short, or not even go to third down at all. And then obviously in the red zone, you really put yourself in position to have a higher percentage of scoring when you don't have to wait till a third down to throw it into a tight window, and you can just pound the rock. Okay, thank you.